The Sleepwalker's Secret. Alex was a young student, excited to start a new life. He found a small apartment in a big, busy city. It was an old building, but the rent was cheap, and Alex needed to save money. When he moved in, some of his new neighbors gave him strange looks. One old woman, Mrs. Gable, stopped him in the hallway. "Be careful, young man," she warned, her voice low. "The person who lived here before you, he was a sleepwalker. He disappeared one night, mysteriously." Alex just smiled. He didn't believe in ghosts or strange disappearances. He was a modern student, ready for his new adventure. He unpacked his boxes and made his apartment feel like home. The first few nights were quiet. Alex slept well, happy in his new place. He studied hard during the day and explored the city. But after about a week, things started to change. He began to hear strange noises at night. They were soft sounds like footsteps walking on the floor above him, even though his apartment was on the top floor. Sometimes he heard a gentle scraping sound, like something being dragged across the wood. Alex tried to ignore them, telling himself it was just the old building settling, or maybe mice. Then things in his apartment started to move. One morning he found his favorite coffee mug not in the kitchen, but on his desk in the living room. Another day, his keys, which he always left by the door, were on his bedside table. He felt a strange unease growing inside him. Was someone coming into his apartment? Or was Mrs. Gable's story about the sleepwalker true? Alex found himself wondering if he was not alone in his new home, or if perhaps something even stranger was happening to him while he was asleep. One night, Alex woke up suddenly. He didn't know why. The room was very dark, but he felt a cold breeze. He realized his window was wide open. He was sure he had closed it before going to bed. He got up to close it. As he walked, his foot hit something. Clink. He looked down. It was a small, old silver key. He had never seen it before. Where did it come from? He didn't have any old silver keys. He picked it up and put it on his desk, feeling more confused. The next morning, the strangeness continued. Alex found his heavy college textbook on the floor, open to a random page. He knew he had left it neatly on his shelf. He felt a shiver. He remembered Mrs. Gable's words about the previous tenant, the sleepwalker. Could it be him? Was he sleepwalking, just like the person before him? He couldn't remember anything from the night. No dreams, no movements. The idea was scary. He started to watch himself. He set up his phone to record video while he slept, hoping to catch himself if he walked in his sleep. Another night, he woke up feeling even colder. He saw his bedroom door was wide open, and a soft light came from his living room. He slowly walked to the living room. The lights were off, but his old, big standing lamp was on, casting long, strange shadows on the walls. And on the floor, there was a small pile of dust. Alex looked closer. It wasn't just dust. It was tiny pieces of old wood, like from an old, forgotten piece of furniture. A sense of dread filled him. He was either sleepwalking and doing very strange things, or someone, or something, else was in his apartment at night. The next few days were full of fear for Alex. He felt tired all the time because he couldn't sleep well. He kept thinking about the silver key and the wood dust. He tried to ignore the strange things, but they kept happening. His fear grew stronger. He watched the video from his phone. In the video, he saw himself. He was asleep in his bed. Then slowly, he sat up. His eyes were open, but they looked empty. He got out of bed, still like a zombie. He walked to his living room. He opened the window. He picked up his book from the shelf and put it on the floor. He even turned on the standing lamp. But then the video showed something more. Alex, still sleepwalking, walked towards a part of the living room wall where there was a large old painting of a dark forest. He slowly reached out and touched the painting. He moved it to the side. Behind it, there was a small hidden door. Alex, in his sleep, took the silver key from his desk. He put the key into the lock of the hidden door and turned it. Click. The door opened a little. The video ended there, as his phone battery died. Alex felt his heart jump. A hidden door? He had to see. He quickly went to the living room wall where the painting hung. He carefully moved the painting. There it was, a small wooden door, almost invisible in the old wall. He remembered the silver key he found. He put the key into the lock. It fit perfectly. He turned the key. The lock clicked, just like in the video. With shaking hands, Alex slowly pushed the door open. Inside, it was dark, very dark. The air was cold and very old. It smelled like dust and something else, something forgotten. Alex took a deep breath. He turned on his phone's flashlight and slowly stepped into the hidden room. It was small and narrow, like a long, dark corridor. The walls were bare, and the air was heavy. He walked slowly, his heart pounding. The corridor led to another door, even older and darker than the first. This door had no handle, only a small, rusty metal plate. Alex felt a chill, a deep cold that went to his bones. He pushed the second door gently. It opened with a loud, drawn-out groan. The flashlight beam showed a tiny, dusty room. It was almost empty. There was an old wooden chair, broken and covered in cobwebs. On the floor there was a small, very old wooden box. Alex walked closer to the box. He felt a strong feeling of sadness and loneliness in the room. He knew this was the room of the sleepwalker. This was where he had spent his last moments. He slowly opened the box. Inside there was an old, faded diary. It was the diary of the previous tenant, the sleepwalker. Alex picked it up. The writing was shaky. It talked about his sleepwalking, how it got worse and worse. He wrote about finding this hidden room. He wrote that the room called to him. It promised him peace and escape from his waking life. The last entry was only a few words. "The room is my friend now. I am not afraid to sleep anymore. I will stay here forever." Alex felt a deep sadness. The sleepwalker hadn't disappeared. He had simply walked into this room one last time and never left. His spirit, or perhaps his deep desire for peace, remained here, calling out in the night. The noises Alex heard were not someone trying to get in, but the sleepwalker trying to tell his story. Alex knew he had to close the door. Alex slowly backed out of the hidden room. He closed the second door gently, then the first one. He put the old painting back in its place on the wall. The apartment suddenly felt different, less scary, but more sad. He realized the sleepwalker was not a threat. He was a lonely spirit, trapped by his own fears and his strange condition. The noises Alex heard were not meant to scare him, but to show him the truth. The sleepwalker had wanted someone to know his secret, to understand his final journey. Alex never saw the painting move again. He never found his keys in strange places, and he didn't wake up with his window open. He still lived in the apartment, but now he felt a quiet respect for the past. Sometimes, late at night, when the building was perfectly silent, he thought he could still hear the faintest whispers, like a soft sigh, coming from behind the wall. It was the gentle presence of the sleepwalker, finally at peace, knowing his secret was known. Alex learned that some mysteries are not about fear, but about understanding and quiet remembrance. The apartment was his home, but it was also a quiet tomb for a forgotten soul.